Past every hour, you can go fund yourself. There is a separate text number that goes along with that, by the way. So for those of you who don't listen closely enough and text me in here when you hear the keyword, you're wasting that text. So listen closely when I have the next keyword for you at 2:30. Cavaliers will begin their season tomorrow night against the Orlando Magic at the Amway Center. And then Saturday, they come home. The home opener is at the Romo Fijo against the Indiana Pacers, and we will be down the street. Or is it up the street? Will we be up? We'd be up the street, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I guess.
Up the street, closer to the lake.
Well,
We'd
it's
be,
kind of like...
Is it? Is
we're
it?
Be east.
Is it?
We're going to be east from the Romo
We're going to be
Fijo.
over the street at the Clevelander.
I mean, we'll be up a little bit.
Okay, uppish.
Yeah,
we'll be
uppish.
uppish the street.
Yeah.
How do you like that? The Alan Cox Show, just the tip-off pre-party is Saturday night. We start at 6 o'clock at the Clevelander. Me, Bill, Poundcake, and 5 pair of tickets for Saturday night's Cavaliers game against the Pacers, all right? That we will give away with the head hoop challenge. I don't know what we're calling it, but you're going to be tossing water balloons into Poundcake's hoop head. And then somebody will give you a certain amount of time, and then you'll figure it out from there.
It's going to be a good time.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be funny. Get you a poncho so you can still...
Goggles, right?
Yeah.
I don't want...
We'll protect
We don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
We just want it to be funny.
We just need a warm body to do it, and you're right there.
Am I warm?
And I'm too tall.
Bill's too tall. It would be too difficult for people to get one of those
Dunk
balls
on
on
Bill.
his head. Huh?
Dunk on Bill.
Why? It's much more fun to dunk on you.
But it's not a dunk if you can, like...
Well, they still have to. They can't stand right next to you.
They're going to be
they have
like,
to stand.
They have to shoot it.
A regulation length away, and then we'll give each person. No one's going to hang from your hoop unless you give full consent. Say that, right? Terry, our GOAT, out in Carlton, PA, did pretty well for Week 7 NFL. Of course, the Patriots beat the Jets in Monday Night Football.
Shut them out.
It was 33-0 last night. So the Patriots, the only undefeated team for this season so far, they will play the Cleveland Browns this Sunday.
That'll be fine. It'll be just fine. I'm sure the Browns will give them their best, and they'll probably win.
Whatever happens will happen.
That'll
That'll be just fine.
I don't know.
Dolphins and Bengals, the only two teams that remain winless, 0-7. But this week, Week 7, that means that Terry the GOAT went 6-3.
Wait, did the Redskins win a game?
Redskins,
they beat the Dolphins because they played the Suck Bowl.
Yeah. Redskins got beaten by the 49ers this past week, but they did.
But 2 weeks ago, they beat the Dolphins.
There you go. So Week 7, and we're almost halfway through the season, of course. Terry goes to 6-3. I mean, she came out of the gate hot. Yep. Week 1, 8-2. Week 1, and I thought, boy, this is going to, admittedly, too early to call anything Week 1. But you go, boy, start putting some money on this GOAT. If it's anything like one of them World Cup picking octopuses. You used to say
octopi.
You used to say octopi, and then over the past couple of years,
you've heard octopuses?
Yeah, they go, nope, it's actually octopuses. But I still feel like that word is kind of in its infancy with usage. So if it's one of those words where if you say it, you sound stupid. And so people, like the word fort, people go, that's not my forte. It's actually pronounced fort. But if you say that's not my fort, all the dummies correct you, and then you look stupid, even though you're the one saying it correctly.
Unless you actually
what I'm
have
saying?
a fort, like you make a blanket fort in your living room, then that's your fort.
That's my fort. If people say, what is that big ramshackle pile of wood in your backyard? I say, that's not my fort. I had a neighbor who dumped that over my fence, and he'll be hearing from my attorney.
My fort would be much nicer than that.
That's right. I'd have pendant lighting, and I'd have a horseshoe driveway.
Ramshackle?
And you like that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
You right?
What's someone ramshackle me?
No, it's not
that's
like
not
that,
what
you son of a bitch. You horny jag off. Ramshackle me.
He is a horny jag.
It's an adjective, not a verb.
Okay, sorry.
Like the word disheveled. I like that word a lot, too, because there's no antonym. There's no one is ever described as being shoveled. Yeah, like when you're really put together, you go, man, that outfit is shoveled. That's not a thing, but disheveled, That's a great word. So anyway, Terry the goat.
Can we start using shoveled?
You can use whatever you want.
I would love to start shoveled.
Language is fluid.
Get shoveled going.
I mean,
it had to be used
great.
at one point, right?
Probably.
Yeah. It was looking quite shoveled the other day.
I'll tell you what, I think we've all gotten to the point where there is probably some consensus on the fact that social media is more hassle than it's worth, right? It would be a very strange situation tomorrow if it all went away. In many ways, we would all have to seriously relearn how to interact with each other, right? But one of the good things about it for what we do is when a conversation ends here on the show, it can continue on social media.
Forever and ever.
And so we got to the end of the show yesterday talking about Bill's surprising love of model train sets, and that's probably how...
It's not even a love yet, because I don't have any. It's an infatuation, maybe, or just like a curiosity.
Yeah,
I'm train curious, okay?
There you go. That you said...
That could sound real bad.
Oh, my God! Woo!
That is a train curious guy. Mm-hmm. That you saw yourself down the road
No, that guy
thinking
is totally into trains. There's no curiosity there.
Thinking down the road, you know, that might be something I would be into.
Myself getting into model trains.
There you go. That's right. Well, listen, I only mention this because I still, after the show last night, was getting a lot of messages from people as to what you should have called your town.
Well, I still haven't named it.
I know.
Because I haven't even started.
And we got a lot of suggestions yesterday. Well, a couple more for Squire Junction, like Petticoat Junction.
We had things like, I liked Heverly Bills. I really enjoyed that one.
Heverly Bills is good.
There's Billsburg. There was a whole bunch.
Billaby.
There were a lot in Billaby.
There. Alan, the search for Bill's model train town begins and ends with Billiopolis, Minnesota. Now, if you wanted a full Billiopolis, Minnesota.
I like that
If
a lot.
you wanted a full mailing address, you might be able to go with Billiopolis, Minnesota.
I like that one.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, something to think about.
Is that it?
Yeah, for now. Yeah, for now. I'm not gonna. I can't dig all the way back. And,
all right.
Yeah, but 49. I'm sorry, 49ers also undefeated. Thank you, but they played 6 games, whereas the Patriots have played 7. Thank you though. 49ers also devotion to accuracy from the customers. San Francisco also undefeated. Well, it's that Colin Kaepernick who's doing such amazing things for them.
And another beautiful thing about social media, and just people having devices all the time, is the things that are captured on video. Mm-hmm. Like if you go to AlanCoxShow.com, there is a fantastic video of a girl getting arrested and just grinding her ass on the cop, going, "Oh, do you like that?
Where is this from? Do we know?
It's
not local.
No, it's not local.
It's just a cute cop.
It went viral.
He's got her up against a window, and he's putting the cuffs on her, and she's grinding up into him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah? You like that? You like that? Yeah?
She's really getting in there, too.
Yeah, she's getting back.
This cop backed away because I guarantee he was starting to pop a rod.
Yeah.
What do you do? Would you even blame him at that
blue
point?
line was getting a little thicker.
Thicker.
What's that?
I said, couldn't you blame him? I'm still gonna do my job, but that was kind of hot. I'm still gonna arrest you, but nice.
Law of unintended consequences.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
I bet he took a couple of extra seconds to get that body cam operational there.
I'm friends with a couple cops, and I'm like, do you have any good stories? Like, do you ever walk into someone's apartment?
Oh, good for you.
Listen, I'm black and I'm friends with cops. That should be something to be admired. But I always ask,
it's like his version of the PBA card.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just goes, hey, I need a couple of police officer friends because I'm black.
Well, it's also like when a white person's like, well, I have a black friend.
Yeah, he goes,
So
I have
a cop friend.
I'm black and I'm gay.
I have multiple. But I always ask them, how often do you get flashed? How often do you walk in someone's apartment and they're naked and they're like, oh, well, we can make this all go away if you just shag me one good time. I'm like, does that ever happen?
Are these
who is
English,
this?
British bobbies who are friends of yours?
No.
Fancy a shag, governor?
No.
Yeah, in the
And
70s?
cops don't walk into people's apartments, right? They usually kick the door down if they need to get into someone's apartment.
I understand that, but when
you've caught me in a...
If they get a domestic call and the girl's like, all right, well, my wife's been hitting on me, and she's in the back room like, all right, officer, well, I was hitting on my husband, but I can hit on you in the right way if you know what I mean.
Okay, so you ask your police friends, how often does this happen? And to a person, they said 0, Poundcake. That's not how anything works.
My one friend said he did arrest someone, arrest a lady that was naked, and she was trying to push up on him, kind of like the video.
Well, those are called tweakers.
It was in her home, but
In her home.
Oh, she can still tweak.
okay,
That's the best place to
I
tweak is
guess.
in your home,
Yeah.
right?
And as far as getting flashed, he said not so much anymore.
Not so much anymore.
Huh?
But it did happen at some point.
I'm guessing so. Probably before the rise of
Me Too and all that?
probably.
And body cams and
probably
police
all the
brutality
videos
and
stuff.
shootings.
Dash cams are probably what really put an end to that.
It's probably more fun back in the day. It'd be like, hey, man, can I show you these and get out of this
Yeah.
ticket? Way back in the day, you'd have a beer in your car, and the cop would go, how far are you from your house? All right, just be safe. They did that a lot in Texas.
Be careful.
Be careful. It's way before my time, but I heard stories. I got $1,000 here for you. A chance for you to go fund yourself. We do it every hour, so a lot of money to be had. I hope some of it goes to you. Good luck.
Hey, it's Rover. Go fund yourself. We have your shot at $1,000 now. Text the nationwide keyword ROCK to the number 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's ROCK to 200-200. Good luck and go fund yourself from 100.7 WMMS.
That cop video, I'm being told, is at a Waffle House at the University of Alabama. All right, there you go.
Roll Tide.
That's right. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call me Deacon Blues. Alan Octopus actually has 3 acceptable plurals. All right, here we go. You ready?
All right. I want to guess them all.
Okay, well, we know 2 of them.
We know octopi,
I've never even heard of the third one.
octopuses,
Assuming this person is correct.
and octoplatter.
Octavia.
Octavia. Nope. Octopuses, octopi, and since the word is Greek, octopodes.
Octopode.
If I'm pronouncing that correctly. Octopodes.
Not octopods. Octopodes.
Octopodes is what this says.
I will stick with octopuses. I like that one the most.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, I like octopi. It's short.
would.
Well, octopuses.
Yeah.
It's like funny. It sounds funny from kindergarten or something, but I like octopi. It sounds like you know what you're talking about. Except these things change so much. Because I'm a word nerd, I do love stuff like this, even if the customers don't care. But there is a website.
It's the same with platypuses. Platypuses and platypi are both correct.
There you go.
I don't know if they do platypodes.
Different genus or species,
yeah.
probably. But do you think that you would, and running into either of them would probably be pretty rare, but do you think it's more rare that you would run into a platypus or an octopus? Which puss do you think you'd run into
an
less?
octopus is probably more likely.
An octopus?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't mean like on your plate
Yeah.
at an Asian restaurant. I mean like in the wild,
In the
an
wild.
octopus. Because they've got a beak, right?
Yeah, and they're all over the world where I'd have to go to Australia to see a platypus.
Platypus. All right.
Now, would it be confusing if you're like, oh, I saw a bunch of platypuses and a bunch of octopi. No consistency there.
Right. My wife's a fan.
Platypi and octopuses.
I went to the bakery in my neighborhood, and they made me the most delicious octopi I've ever had in my life. It had this buttery crust, and it was full of squid. It was delicious. Because I'm a word nerd, I do enjoy things like the Merriam-Webster Time Traveler website, which is very simply the words that first started showing up publicly and in print the year you were born. Things that showed up officially in the dictionary or that were officially just beginning to be used. First in print in the year of your birth. So, of course, I was born in 1971, and I go back to see what was starting to get used officially in 1971. Crop top, dominatrix. These words were not even being used before 1971. Kickboxing. Brand new.
What were you calling a dominatrix before then?
I don't know.
Like an
S&M maiden? I don't know. VCR was brand new. Wise ass. Tight ass. 1971, it starts showing up. Tight ass. So, those are the things that interest me.
All right, what about it? 1982. That's my year of birth.
You were born in 1982.
Yep.
Complementary medicine. AIDS. Coincidence?
Cool. Good job, Bill.
Alt-rock.
Alt-rock, okay.
Barista. Of course, that was probably the the rise of Starbucks and all. Yeah. Road Warrior.
Nice. That's a good one.
Tiramisu.
I'll hang my hat on Road Warrior. Tiramisu.
They have T-Rex. How could T-Rex have just started showing up in 1982 in print?
That's
the
strange.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Because of the band?
You know, a lot of... Yeah, but that was the 60s and 70s, I think.
Right.
Even that. Vaginosis, Bill.
Ooh.
Turducken.
Ugh.
Remember your pilot for your TV show?
Grandpa Turducken.
Grandpa Turducken.
Oh.
VJ,
Get that
yeah.
going.
Poundcake, what are you, 89? Were you born?
Oh,
No,
no.
80s.
90s.
Oh, 92, right? 93?
Correct.
93?
92.
92. What first showed up? Gulf War Syndrome. Hey, lucky you. Gen X.
I don't know. I got him beat with AIDS.
Huh?
My most tragic word is worse than his most tragic word so far.
Yeah, I think
AIDS
you're right.
wins, yeah.
AIDS is tough to top. Yeah. EVOO first started showing up from print. You know what that is?
No.
When you see it
Poundcake.
on a menu, do you know what it is?
No, what is it?
You've never seen EVOO on a menu?
No, what is it?
It's extra virgin olive oil.
No.
You've seen that on a menu.
I must
And
not pay attention to it.
Every restaurant uses it now.
Poundcake can confirm. AIDS is tough to top.
Yeah.
Let's see. He said yes. LGBT studies first started showing up in 1992.
Took us that long, huh?
And weak sauce. Taliban. Hey, there you go. So it turns out there's these guys called the Taliban.
Ooh, Taliban's up there with AIDS.
MTV News breaking the story. I don't know. AIDS is tough to top as far as tragic lingo goes. But again, why AIDS was around before that. I'm not sure why it would take them so long.
They didn't have a name for it. Didn't have a name for a while.
Well, for a while, it was gay-related. It was called GRID in the
Really?
very earliest days because they thought just gay men got it. So I don't know if it was the official nomenclature among the scientists, but for a while, you would see references to GRID, which meant like gay-related immunodeficiency or immunodisease or
So
something.
when Eazy-E got it, was that like opening the door like, oh, straight people could get this too?
That was one of them. Ryan
one?
White, that kid, Ryan White, who died. But like Reagan wouldn't say AIDS in public very famously for a long time. And a lot of people who were trying to work on the first, the doctors who were working on early cures and stuff were very upset by the fact that he wouldn't call more attention to it. Because it was, for a long time, just considered a gay disease.
And, when it kills gay people, no one's really that concerned. But
Well, they
once
weren't
it's-
because numerically they were like, look, this is not a majority of the population. If gay, so part of it was prejudice, but part of it was numbers. They were like, why are we flipping out about something that only kills gay men?
It's the same thing with the crack epidemic. It was only killing black people and no one cared. And then all of a sudden, what? White people do crack too? And then people were like, oh, okay, now we have to do something about this.
You mean the opioid crisis?
Well, white people still do crack. I mean,
They do,
yeah,
but
but
the opioid crisis was
That's
what
what got
really put that
people's
on the front
attention,
page.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. That's
But even
basically
then,
the white version
we haven't
of it.
really done anything about it. We're just aware of it.
Well, actually, no, that's not true because there's laws being passed right now, and now pharmaceutical companies are going to court over it. It's like they're getting
Well,
sued.
I saw Ohio is getting some big check from the drug companies, but boy, Ohio's getting ripped off. I mean, I know these families want something rather than to be in litigation while these companies try to pretend that they had nothing to do
You
with it.
get like $10 million from a multi-billion-dollar corporation or something.
Well, that's the thing. They're like, we can stay in court and try to get $8 billion from these companies, but they'll just
Drain
declare
you.
bankruptcy.
Yeah, and you'll
So,
go
or do you
bankrupt
want to
doing it.
take the $250 million and you can't blame anybody for taking that money. So Ohio, I think, Cuyahoga County and Summit County are, I think, two of the first counties in the whole country that are going to be cashing out in settlements with the drug companies. And that will allow the companies to avoid going on trial. But even if they did, you've got the Purdue Pharma, that Sackler family, whatever, who is considered to be largely like front and center for this whole thing. They're like, we'll just declare bankruptcy because you can't get our personal money.
Bunch of octopuses.
Bunch of octopodes. All right, let me break. I got Mushroom Head tickets for you. They're doing their big Halloween show at the Agora on November the 1st, if you want to check that out. Closer to 320, those tickets for you. 35192 to text, AlanCoxShow.com for everything else.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio